Ibrahim Traore, president of Burkina Faso. I know this guy is not liked by most African leaders, especially the Madalas. They call him all sorts of names. They paint him black, call him a dictator. But honestly, I feel like a dictator who does things in the interest of his people is better than a democrat who does things for himself and also to please his paymasters. Ouch. That hurts. But on a serious note, though, you African leaders, don't you at any point get some inspiration from this young man? Don't you at some point sit down and just ask yourself, how come? What is he doing that we have failed to do? Don't you even gain the courage and the confidence to just even just call him and ask, young man, how are you doing it? I know. Previously, you people have always thought you are the masters of all wisdom. But what you have failed to realize is that generations have changed. The way the world is working now and how it used to work some years ago is way different. Yeah, that time you didn't have the internet. You people didn't even have AI. Here we have AI. Eh? And whilst we appreciate the knowledge and wisdom that you have, it is important to just ask where you don't know to say, my young man, how are you doing it here? We also want to learn. Because some of us feel like we cannot run these minds by ourselves. How are you doing it? Some of us feel like we cannot construct roads in our countries without the help of China, without the help of India, without the help of this country and that other country. How are you doing it? Some of us feel like we can't run the economy without the help of it. How are you? You'll be able to explain. But some of you, you claim you are leaders, but you only have hope in other leaders to run your country. It's like if the other countries never existed, you can't do anything for your people. What has impressed me now about Ibrahim Traore is that his leadership has officially transferred 5 gold mining projects to state ownership, aiming to regain control over natural resources and boost revenue amid rising global gold prices. The assets have been handed to Sopanmib, the state-owned mining company, as Africa's 4th largest gold producer. With over 57 tons mined in 2023, the government views the move as key to funding infrastructure and development. However, international firms including Gold, North Gold, and West African Resources have voiced concerns over increasing regulatory uncertainty and weakening investor protections. This story was written by DWTV. Now forget the last part. Obviously, investors will raise concerns, and especially foreign investors will raise concerns once African countries decide to start running their own economies. Yeah, it's because once African countries start running these economies, nishiafa kwabo. Nishiafa so beve kuja manje, they have to start finding ways of how and where they're going to start doing business. They know that most of our leaders in Africa are so. They know. That's why they always find ways of just enticing you to allow them to come and do businesses in your countries. But at the end of the day, when you look at how long they've been mining your resources and what development they have left behind, you find $0. The news that Burkina Faso has gained ownership of some of their biggest mines, honestly, is very heartwarming. Yeah, it's very heartwarming, and I hope our leaders could lead by example, or could learn an example from the young man. You can paint him names, yeah, but at the end of the day, yeah, every leader No matter what good they do, they have their own weaknesses. But as long as they do things in the interest of the people, then it's better. But over the years, what we have seen is that these so-called investors don't even come to invest. They just come to get what we have and they go. I'll just give an example of my country, Zambia. Me, I don't want to lie, Monday. Every day we see trucks on these roads loaded with our copper, loaded with our minerals. But it's a shame that the same roads that they use are so dilapidated. Very, very dilapidated. There is nothing that we can even summer for. We have to start coming up with other projects, private partnership, what to come and do the roads. It doesn't make sense. One of the ways we can invest in our roads is just telling the same companies to say, before you can start transporting this gold, before you can start transporting this copper, please make sure that you work on these roads because they benefit them. That are sure, our friends. I know, you can call this young man all sorts of names, but the development that he's doing in his country is there for everyone to see on the internet. We have seen videos. Yes, maybe that's the only good side that they are showing us. But the question is, in your country, what good side are people knowing about you? What good things are people viewing about your country? What good things? Hmm? How are your people benefiting from their resources? How? Hmm? When your people benefit, it is because China has given so. When your people benefit, it is because if France has given so. When your people benefit, it is because Germany has donated so. From what is produced locally, people are not benefiting. African leaders, learn an example from Traore. He's very young. Yes, you might think he doesn't know it all, but clearly, some of us are getting inspired as young people because we are seeing the good side of things that he's doing. Yeah, and if somebody has more goods or more good sides than bad sides, then they are worth emulating. Young people, yeah, let's just put our monies together if it is possible. Let's just arrange a conference in Burkina Faso. We go and ask Ibrahim, how did you manage? Maybe, just maybe in the near future, we can also transform our countries. Yeah, you may call him a dictator, but like I said, a dictator who does things in the interest of his people is better than a democrat who does things to impress only himself and his paymasters.